Hello and welcome back to another edition of the Medeek Floor Plugin. My name is Nathaniel P. Wilkerson, and today I wanted to dive a little deeper into the linking of floors and walls. Specifically, I want to talk about moving floors with walls and moving walls with floors. So in the previous tutorial video, I think that was tutorial number 17, we actually showed that once we've drawn the floor with wall mode, we can move a wall and have the floor essentially follow that wall. So now I want to show that I've actually updated the extension a little bit, and so now if you do use this move tool here, basically this one, to move the floor edge, we can actually have it update the walls. So let's go ahead and get started here and just go ahead and throw down some walls. And just make a quick perimeter here, kind of an L-shaped perimeter. I mean, we could just do a rectangular one, but I just want to do something a little more interesting so that you can see that it's not just rectangular perimeters. Okay, so let's go ahead now and throw down that floor. And we're in wall mode, which is what we want. And so we'll just go ahead and work our way around the exterior of this structure, making sure that we grab the exterior walls, or the exterior side of the walls, I'm sorry. So let's go ahead and do that real quick. Okay, so there we go. Now you're going to notice right off the bat, we've got this 1/2 inch offset that I basically set up. So let's go ahead and edit this, and I'm going to show you what that's all about. So we'll go ahead and click edit and then just edit this floor. So if we drop down here into the perimeter section, you're going to notice that I've added now this offset parameter for the perimeter options. So that essentially will push the floor out from the walls, whatever dimension that you want. I'm going to go ahead and set that back to 0, but just wanted to show you guys that that's an option now. And actually, I think you can also put a -1 in there as well. I'm not sure why you'd want to do that, but that is also another option. Okay, so we've set that back to 0. Jump out of that, and now you can see that we've got ourselves a nice flush situation here. So previously, yes, we showed that if we move this wall, so let's go ahead and just do that one more time. Sorry, I'm not grabbing this wall very well. Go there, and now of course it won't automatically update, but we just hit regen on the floor, and bingo, it's right there. All right, so now what actually happens is I'm going to show you now, if we move this floor with the move floor edge, okay, now we're going to bump it out, let's say another 4 feet, or yeah. Now notice how it comes up with this prompt, click OK to move wall with floor. So you can hit cancel on that and it won't move the wall, but if you do hit OK, it will go ahead and it will move the floor, but it'll also move the wall with it. Okay, so let me show you where you can set that up. And by the way, the prompt is the default behavior, but if we go here into the global settings, and let's go over to floors, and under the wall mode options right here in the center here, you'll notice that you have 3 options. You can say yes, prompt, or no. So yes will automatically move the walls if you use the move floor edge. Prompt will ask you if you want to, and of course no will automatically not move them. So you have 3 options there you can set up. You can also set up your perimeter option or perimeter offset as well. So that, I think that's kind of handy for people that like to have that offset in there, especially you're trying to kind of set things up so you don't have to keep changing things after the fact. Really that's the whole idea behind all these default settings in the global settings here. And then also, just to show you guys, slightly off topic, but I added in the sheathing tab here. So the sheathing tab will allow you to set the defaults for your sheathing thickness, your material, and of course your ceiling gypsum. So yeah, just another convenience thing here. And honestly, I'm slowly fleshing this whole global settings out. So there's still quite a few parameters that I need to get added in there. But if you have anything specifically you need added, just give me a shout and I'll get that done. Okay, so that's what that's all about. And yeah, I think it's it makes it so you can essentially have this codependency between the floors and the walls. So you can have it basically, depending on whichever one you update, it will follow suit with the other assemblies. Under the hood, the way this is actually working is I have what I call the Medeek API, and specifically the wall API is what it is. So the relationship between these two, or the link, is actually stored with the floor itself, the floor assembly. If you click Attribute Editor here, this is Enoros Attribute Editor. Let me just go ahead and bring that over here real quick, just show you guys just a little bit into the weeds here, but I think it's worth the time just to show you guys how this is actually working. So this is the attribute library for the entire floor assembly. Basically, it's just a database. You're storing all your parameters, and by the way, any of this, if you have like this attribute editor downloaded, you can manually edit any one of these parameters and then apply them and save it, and then go ahead and regen that floor, and it will reflect all those changes. So this is very open. I wouldn't call it open source, but it's not a closed system. You could literally write third-party plugins that could change any of these parameters, and then manipulate the floors or walls as you see fit. So right down here, you'll see there's what's called a wall list. So typically, if you're drawing in point mode, this will be empty, and so will this wall side. But if you're using wall mode, this will be populated with the actual rectangular wall or wall assemblies that are defining that perimeter. And so you can see that that's just right there. So that's pretty much under the hood what's happening. But let me just talk a little bit more about that wall API. So the wall API, or the Medeek wall API, is basically allowing the link between these assemblies. And so what happens is now with the floor assembly, when you move that edge, if it detects that you're in wall mode, it will then say, hey, whether you want to be prompted or not, it will check that. And then once, if you say yes, then what it does is it actually fires off a command using the wall API to the appropriate wall, and then basically the wall move tool, which is this tool right here, is essentially fired up. So there are no specifically new tools that are being used. I'm using the existing tools that already are within the plugin themselves, but I'm just basically allowing a kind of a layer in between the two plugins that says, hey, use this tool and execute this command. So essentially that's how it works. And just kind of off topic as well, the wall API, I documented actually on this thread here, and there's some interesting documentation here for people that are interested. So essentially a guy could write extensions that interact with any of these walls or floors, if especially the walls right now with the regen and the move wall API calls. So it's not limited, to the Medeek extensions. In fact, also you don't even need to have a license copy of the Medeek extension installed to use the APIs. So just putting that out there. But anyways, I think this offers a little bit of more parametrics or dynamic ability of having these plugins able to talk to each other. And now that I've done this, I may, like I said, I'm giving some consideration to updating some of the other extensions as well, seeing if we can some interactions between walls and roofs and foundations and walls and floors and foundations. So there's a lot yet to be done. So anyways, thank you guys for all the suggestions, and we will talk to you later.